Is that the Vyasa-san, the chair over there? Yeah. It'll be electric tonight. We're very, very fortunate tonight because we have, in my opinion, one of the most elevated Vaishnavas in our community speaking, Phanesvari. I've known Phanesvari since she was, I don't know, knee-high to a caterpillar. I think since 79, maybe 80, somewhere around there. But Phanesvari, her whole family are wonderful Vaishnavas. Her mother, her father, who has left, but he was one of the most amazing dancers. And he had a famous talk with Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada spoke with him till the middle of the night, and they had it was very intense. And in the end, her father bowed down and touched Prabhupada's feet and surrendered to him. And Indira, you're not going to get away. You have to raise your hand. Let's give a round of applause for Indira. Indira's been coming to this temple since before I joined here in the late 70s. So she's another great devotee. So we're very fortunate. Phanesvari is a disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj, and she's one of the pujaris here, and we're in for a treat. She's actually a great cook, almost as good as her mother. Harekrishna.
So you're telling me to treat everybody like my children? Okay, wait. Where should I put it? Oh. Is that okay? Okay. Maybe not so okay. Okay. Harekrishna, everybody. Let's break the ice a little bit, okay? Start with Harekrishna. That always helps. Thank you. So I want to start with a little bit of invocation. We start with Jaya Radha Madhava. If you know, please sing along with me. It's very simple words, so please join us. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dhari Yasoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivana Dhari Yasoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Radha Giridhari ki Jai, Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi ki Jai, Jai Gauranga, Jai Nityananda. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamai Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaya Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swami Niti Namane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Did I finish that verse? Did I miss a line? Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming. And one verse that I'd like to chant before, it's my Guru Maharaj always chants this. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim Tad Kripat Tamaham Vande Sri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, unto the all-glorious, blissful Madhava, Lord Madhava, and to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy the lame can cross mountains and the mute can speak. So hopefully they'll speak through me. It was very hard trying to decide what to speak about. There's so much knowledge in Srila Prabhupada's books. So it's not what to speak about, it's how do you put that all and capsule that in 45 minutes. So meditating upon this for many, many days, let me tell you. And this verse appeared to me. So I wanted to read this verse. Oh, let me move this closer. This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19, text 151. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. Translation. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems, and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. I'd like to read a little bit of the purport also. It gives us the mood and the mission of Srila Prabhupada. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, and if one desires something, Krishna fulfills one's desire. If the living entity by chance or fortune comes in contact with the Krishna conscious movement and wishes to associate with that movement, Krishna, who is situated in everyone's heart, gives him the chance to meet a bona fide spiritual master. This is called Guru Krishna Prasada. Krishna is prepared to bestow his mercy upon all living entities, and as soon as the living entity desires the Lord's mercy, the Lord immediately gives him an opportunity to meet a bona fide spiritual master. I'd like to read that one more time. As soon as a living entity desires the Lord's mercy, the Lord immediately gives him an opportunity to meet a bona fide spiritual master. Such a fortunate person is fortified by both Krishna and the spiritual master. He is helped from within by Krishna and from without by the spiritual master. Both are prepared to help the sincere living being become free from material bondage. Following in the footsteps of Narada Muni, this Krishna consciousness movement is rendering service to humanity by giving everyone a chance to come in contact with Krishna. If one is fortunate, he becomes intimately related with this movement. Then, by the grace of Krishna, one's life becomes successful. Everyone has dormant Krishna bhakti, love for Krishna, and in the association of good devotees, that love is revealed. So this, in essence, states what is our mission. Our focus is to allow everybody to have the chance to touch this beautiful message of Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And somebody say, I don't know how many people are here for the first time. You might say, I'm not a devotee. I didn't want to associate with you. I just was passing by. Somebody said you had a free fee, so I showed up. I'd like to read the next verse. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Sravanadis Suddha Chitta Karayes Udai. Dormant devotional service to Krishna is within everyone. Simply by associating with devotees, hearing their good instructions, and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, dormant love for Krishna is awakened. In this way, one acquires the seed of devotional service. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. So you can't avoid it. It doesn't matter how far you run. It's there within you. And it actually reminds me of a story my Guru Maharaj actually just told us recently. He said he was walking down somewhere I think in Canada, if I remember correctly, before he was a devotee, so many, many years ago. And he heard the chanting, he heard the mridanga, he's like, what are these people? He went to go check out who these people were. What is this weird thing? He walked close to them. He said one devotee turned around and looked at him, and he saw his face. He saw the tilak, he saw everything. He turned around and he ran. He ran for 2 miles, he said. He kept running. He thought, why am I running? They're not chasing me. What am I running for? He turns around, he walks back. And they're gone by then. But then he realizes that, I think I recognize these people somehow. And so later, when he went back, he didn't find them. But he did find a flyer that said something about Radha Yatra is happening at a certain place. And so he, got his guts up and showed up there, and the rest is history. He is one of our leaders in the Krishna consciousness today. So many of you probably have heard something is familiar. Has anybody here, do they remember if you're, an old devotee, a new devotee, or did anything sound familiar? Did you come in the temple and say, this is familiar? Did you see a devotee? Show of hands. Okay, so we've got some people who say, wait a minute, I recognize this. So Prabhupada gives a very nice analogy. So this is not our true place. We will belong in the kingdom of God, or with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Goloka Vrindavan. And, he gives the analogy of like an amnesia patient. Many times an amnesia patient, what do they do when somebody has amnesia? When they want him to remember, what do they do? Somebody give me what do they do? They take them to old places, right? You know, hoping they'll recognize them. What else do they do? Show them pictures. What else? Give me something else. Smells, sounds, memories, right? All these things that they try to, again, awaken that old memory. So Srila Prabhupada gives them, Srila Prabhupada gives us this opportunity by creating this atmosphere for us, by chanting the holy name. Hopefully that name will trigger something in our memory. You know, and this verse actually was taken during a time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving instructions to Rupa Goswami. He continued for 10 days in Prayag, giving him instructions. And Rupa Goswami wrote the treatise, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or the Nectar of Devotion, which actually is like a treatise of rules, a law book of what devotional service is like. Giving you some characteristics, showing you the process. It's not some whimsical thing. It is a science. So there's an actual process to follow. And in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami talks about 5 potent aspects of devotional service. And I want to talk about those aspects because that is what Srila Prabhupada included in his whole Krishna consciousness process. I like to call them the ABCs of Krishna consciousness. The first one, I will go through them and I'll try to, got to keep my eye on the clock here. I will go through them one after the other, and then we'll try to talk about about them one after the other. The first one I call A is association of devotees. B is Bhagavatam class. C is chanting. D is deity worship. And E is, it's not E, but it's residing in a holy place. So now what does potent mean? So potent means something that has great power, influence, and effect. So what is the effect we're trying to create? We're trying to influence, create the effect of reminding ourselves of who we are and what is our original position. I'm going to be throwing at you so many things, and I'll probably be saying so many stuff, and you're going to be like, I don't know what she said. One thing I want you to remember, the underlying thing out of everything I tell you is the most important rule. Our goal in life is to remember Krishna and never forget him. So that is line. So if you get nothing out of this lecture, please remember that one thing. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. So the first one, association with devotees. Now, Srila Prabhupada, as you know, in his, and I don't know, maybe many of you know, maybe many of you don't know, he has created this whole program for us in the morning at the temple. Association of devotees, Bhagavatam class, chanting, and deity worship. And we are residing in a holy place because the temple is a holy place. So that whole program is available for you to come here and imbibe in that association, imbibe in the Bhagavatam classes every morning. If it's not here, you go on ISKCON and anywhere in the world you will see Bhagavatam class going on. If you can't sleep at night, turn it on. You will listen to Bhagavatam class. You'll hear kirtan. Anytime, the opportunities are immeasurable. And why Bhagavatam class? And so this is my favorite, this is so far my favorite verse in the Bhagavatam. Pravishta karna randhrena dvanam bhava saroroham dunoti samalam krishnaha salilasya vyadhasarat. The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, Srimad Bhagavatam, enters the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. So to be able to relish the name, we need to first cleanse our heart. And to cleanse our heart, that's what the chanting is for. That is what the Bhagavatam class is for. That is what the deity worship is for. Prabhupada, of course, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's so many examples of devotees who became purified by association, who were not devotees previously. Most famous example is Narada Muni, who was the son of a servant, a maidservant, who was serving actually some Bhagavatas, Mahabhagavatas, devotees who had been staying in the During Chaturmasi, or the 4 months of the rainy season, these sannyasis and swamis who travel preaching stay in one place for those 4 months because it's obviously raining, it's hard to travel. So they stay in that one place, and whoever comes there, they'll preach to them or teach them and stuff. So he was actually just a son of a maidservant. He wasn't inquiring. He was just basically, he was basically, what they said is, he had the interest. He was curious, And they shared with him the knowledge that he was hankering for. And with that knowledge, he went searching for the Lord and started meditating upon him. And the Lord actually appeared to him, but only for a second. And he was, where is he? Where is he? He appeared within his heart, where is he? I need to see this man. And he hears a voice that says, you're not ready yet, but you keep chanting, and you will, and by my grace, you will remember your past life, and in your next birth, you will become my pure devotee. And he is Narada Muni. And we know so many people that whose hearts he has changed. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had Nrsimha Jayanti, Nrsimha Chaturthi. So Prahlad, it's never too late. It's never too early. Prahlad Maharaj was an embryo in his mother's womb. He heard the Bhagavad, the words of Narada Muni when he spoke about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just by hearing him from in the womb, he became a pure devotee. So association of devotees is important. Bhagavatam class is important. Chanting is important. Chanting is not only congregational chanting, but also chanting japa. And I think many of you know, many of us who are initiated, promise that we will be chanting 16 rounds every day. So 16 rounds is a bead that has 108, usually tulsi or neem, some nice beads like that. We chant the Hare Krishna mantra. First, we chant on the head bead, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Then we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Each bead 108 times. We promise to chant 16 rounds every day. And why? It is to get in touch with Krishna. Because Krishna and his name are identical. So when you are saying Krishna, he's there. He's dancing on your tongue, as Srila Prabhupada says. And you can realize this if you are chanting with devotion. And I'll tell you right up front, it's not, sometimes you think in the beginning, you're like, is this going to be really good? I mean, chanting 16 rounds, how can you do that, But, I beg of you, please try it. Don't chant 16 rounds. Just chant Hare Krishna once a day every time you get up in the morning. Once a day before you eat, and once a day before you go to sleep. That's all I request of you. If you're beyond that, do a round. That's all I request, and you will see that your life is changing. This chanting, especially congregational chanting, is so important. And the reason why is, it's because of this congregational chanting that we are able to reach so many different people. And I can tell you personally from my example that I remember, as my father said, that was the chanting 1964, 5, UC campus, UC Berkeley campus?
Yes, 66.
Okay, 1966 UC Berkeley campus. We're there, my father's doing, he's teaching or studying, I don't remember what. My brother and I and my sister, I think 3 of us were only, number 4 wasn't born yet. My father hears the kartals, right? Those are very, kind of loud, right? Then he hears the mridangam. He recognizes this sound. He's like, where's the sound coming from? So he's chasing, we're all following. We got to find the sound, So he's running through the campus looking for this, where's the sound coming from? And who does he see? He sees the devotees chanting in the middle of the campus, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. My mom, of course, is paranoid. So she's thinking, and my sister is like jumping, like she's just so happy. And my dad, of course, is jumping also. Many of you may know him. He always loved to dance. He would always dance at the Sunday feast. And so he was, he was dancing, and he said, this is what I was looking for. This is what I want. My mother was still worried, like, who are these people? Why are they chanting in the middle of the campus? 1966, well, here we are today. Need I say more? I remember listening to a class this past weekend at the ISKCON temple in LA, and Yogeshwar Prabhu was giving a class, and he was saying, Srila Prabhupada only said, oh, just chant and be happy, and look where we are today. So that's it. That is the simple message. You chant, your life will be transformed. And the last one is deity worship. So fourth one, deity worship. Now, many people say, is that just a doll up there? Why are you guys dancing to a doll? He's very beautiful. They're very beautiful. They're nice to look at, but it's just a doll. No, it's not just a doll. It is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself and His consort Radharani, who have come down in this form in order to allow us to serve them. Because that is our original constitutional position, to serve. We're always serving somebody. It's either our kids, our parents, and we're not saying don't serve them. That is definitely our duty. We do need to serve them in whatever propensity we have. But we need to ultimately understand that that is only a pathway to our ultimate goal, which is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so this is a practice. And once we realize that this is Lord Krishna, and He is allowing us the opportunity to serve Him, then He from within will purify our hearts. And you can speak, you can ask many of the devotees here who have done deity worship, or like I said, on lectures you'll hear my Guru Maharaj always loves to tell stories about different people who have had experiences with the Lord speaking to them through the deities. I remember one here, maybe Badrinath Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. And maybe whoever the devotees who are here from long ago can help with the story. But one day, Pujari was trying to sleep, and he couldn't sleep, and he kept seeing, was it Lord Balaram? Was telling him there's something shining in my eyes, or he couldn't sleep. And then he came downstairs and he realized that he had left the altar lights on. Do you remember that, Maharaj? He had left the altar lights on, and he realized, oh, that's why I couldn't sleep, and Balaram was, calling me. Lord Balaram was telling me that the lights were on and I can't sleep. Do you remember the story completely, Maharaj?
No.
Okay.
But I remember we had a big argument whether we should lock the door at night, at what time to lock the door. And we went back and forth, and we couldn't decide who was going to do it.
Yes.
And that night, we woke up in the morning, the Pujari came, all the silver was gone. For offering the altar, it was gone. And it had gone out the back door. We went, it was hidden in the bushes all along this side. We never knew who took it. Why did you steal it and then put it over there? So we figured, oh, we better lock the door. So that sort of thing.
Yes, so there is reciprocation. There is reciprocation, believe me, and it's very, very sweet. And a holy dham, living in the holy dham. So holy dham, yes, Vrindavan is holy dham, Mathura is holy dham. But Srila Prabhupada also said that this is a holy dham. The temple is a holy dham. Why is it a holy dham? Again, there's another analogy. Prabhupada's purports, I urge everybody to pick up a book of any book of Srila Prabhupada. Any book, any opportunity you have, read one page, that's it, or even one paragraph. There's so much in each page. That's why I told you it was so difficult to kind of, what am I going to talk about that everybody can relate to or that can help them progress. So analogy he gives is that the temple is like an embassy in a foreign land. So when you're in a foreign country, when you want to go, when you need help, when you're searching for something, where do you go? You go to the American embassy if you're American, Indian embassy if you're Indian. So this embassy, this little safe house, my Guru Maharaj calls them Shraddha Kutir, a safe house, is like a place where we can come to find sanctuary. And I can tell you personally, growing up in this country, growing up in a very traditional family, growing up in a very foreign culture, and also raising children in this foreign culture, there have been many, many times when I have come to the temple for help, for assistance, just to see the deities, for sanctuary. And many, many times I have gone away peaceful, knowing that we all have to go through stuff. Good stuff, bad stuff happens. That is the tendency of this material world. It goes up, it goes down. Happiness and distress, we just go through this thing. But as long as we hold on to the lotus feet of our spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will protect us and guide us. I'm not saying you're not going to have bad times. That you're going to have bad times. We all have bad times. But they will give you the strength and the faith to get through it. And always know that they are protecting us. That is what the one thing you need to know. And then you're probably all thinking, oh, that's really fine and dandy. Well, I'm not moving into the temple. You know, they have a nice morning program. That sounds great. Well, as Yudhishthira was talking about my father's conversation with Srila Prabhupada, that was actually the conversation with Srila Prabhupada. So they went through this whole argument, you know, and back and forth and back and forth. And so my father said, and my father was not, was very, how do I say this, you know, always questioning. You know, he was not going to take things lying down. He really wanted to know, wait, why is this the right way? You know, he was really, really inquiring. He wasn't just going to take it just at face value. Oh, if you say it, yes, I'm going to believe it. And Srila Prabhupada does not want us to do that. Our gurus do not want us to do that. They want us to inquire. They want us to ask questions. They want us to have true faith, not just blind faith. So all, as you see Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking Krishna's questions. Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami questions. Brahma is asking the Supreme Personality of Godhead questions. Narada is asking Brahma. Questions, answers. Ask questions. That is why we are here for you today. Come and ask the devotees. Ask anybody. You know, His Holiness, Badinarayan Maharaj will answer questions. Yudhishthira Prabhu, Radha Devi will answer questions. Anybody who you feel comfortable with, that you want to know, ask the question. Please don't sit silently, because that is why we are here. That is why this temple is here. This temple is for you. We are here to serve you and help you on this path of transformation. As I was going back to what I was saying, so going back and forth, so my father finally said, okay, so does that mean that I need to move into the temple with my family? Now, I understand, 5 kids, you know, just a husband working, 5 people going into the temple, we're thinking, you know, we're all like, oh my God, it's not happening to us. We don't want to move into the temple, no. You know, our life is going to change. And Srila Prabhupada says to my father, said, no, I don't want you to move into the temple, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to create an altar in your home. I want you to pray with your family, have kirtan with your family. I want you to have a picture of Radha Giridhari in your home. Offer artik every day. And, you know, in traditional Indian families, a lot of times, you know, just the woman would do the prayer and everybody else would do their own thing, kind of. Maybe at one point everybody prayed together. But Srila Prabhupada said specifically, you as a family need to pray together, have kirtan, offer your food, you know, read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then most important, he said, he told my mother, he said, I want you to cook some nice food, offer it to deities, and take it to, told my father, take it to your 2 people at work and offer them prasadam. Remember Srila Prabhupada's, you know, what is it, magic secret weapon, chanting and prasadam, right? So, how many people are here because of the prasadam? How many keep coming back for the prasadam, you know? And how many were attracted for more than that after they got here? Okay, so you see it's working. You see it's working. So the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. And I know, I think Badrinath Maharaj is the one that always says, we are not an armchair religion, right? We want you to come in, we want you to practice, we want you to try it. So he told my father, I want you to do this. I want you to have this program every morning. I want you to distribute prasadam. And that is what Krishna consciousness is. Bring it into your life. So, you know, that's what we did. We'd stay together. We'd pray every morning. You know, we'd have a kirtan every morning. We'd offer, you know, everything we ate was offered. And we would distribute to our friends. Our friends thought we were kind of weird, but then we were kind of cool, so it was okay, so that was nice. And then he did distribute it to different people, at work and stuff, and we would read Bhagavatam every day. Did I understand it in that age? No, didn't understand anything. But I can guarantee one thing as a parent: if you sit and read with your kids Bhagavatam, whether you believe in its Krishna consciousness or not, their vocabulary will increase, their intelligence will increase, and you will won't have to worry about him reading in school. Okay, so if for nothing else, do that. It is definitely a book worth picking up and delving into. And that kind of segues into why we distribute books. We distribute books for that reason, because we want everybody to have the opportunity to read the books. Because I said, we said in here in the beginning that by coming in contact with a pure devotee, that we get this seed of devotion, right? And we're wondering, well, Srila Prabhupada's not around. How are we going to get in contact with a pure devotee? How is that going to happen? So I want to read this one letter, which, and I will end with this. So it is to Sivarama Swami, and I like to read this to you. I'm going to try not to cry. I get very, very emotional, and I read this a couple of times so I wouldn't cry, okay? So, Hare Krishna, dear Sivarama Swami, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I hope you do not mind my writing to you. I have never written to a spiritual master before. You do not know me. My name is Bhaktin Dora, and I live in Pécs, Hungary. I am 14 years old, and I live at home with my mother and older sister. If I'm reading too fast, please raise your hand. I have a tendency of going really, really fast. My daughter was supposed to do this. Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks. Some years ago, I went to the Hare Krishna festival with a friend. I was not very interested, but I enjoyed the chanting and dancing at the end. After it was over, I bought a book, The Science of Self-Realization. I do not know why. Generally, I never read. I think it was because of the chanting. I took the book home and cannot remember what happened to it. One day, my mother found it and was very angry with me. She thought that I was reading this kind of thing. You see, our family members are all very strict Catholics. They thought Krishna consciousness was some kind of brainwashing. Actually, I wasn't reading the book. I had forgotten all about it. Somehow, it just appeared. Anyway, my mother was going to throw it away. My grandmother, who is 68, was in the kitchen at the time. She lives in the apartment upstairs. She came in and took the book. She looked at it and scolded me in a very heavy way. I thought that would be the end of it. I did not mind so much, as I was in a lot of Maya at that time. About a week later, I overheard a conversation between my mother and grandmother. Granny was saying that this was not some ordinary book. She said that what Prabhupada was saying is what Jesus Christ said, and that Krishna is God. I was very surprised. She said we should listen to what Prabhupada said and chant Hare Krishna, because that was the religion for this age. There was a lot of talk about how Christianity was no more and no one was following the Bible, but what Prabhupada said was pure and perfect. Things really took a turn from there. One day, my grandmother visited the Namahatta, the local Krishna center, and began to chant on beads. She also began to buy Prabhupada's books one by one. She was spending all her pension buying what she called the beautiful Holy Bhagavatam. Sometimes she could only afford to eat potatoes, but she kept buying the books. The devotees even came to her flat and helped her set up an altar. When I went upstairs, there were Krishna pictures everywhere. That was really the beginning. One night, Granny had a dream about Prabhupada. Something really happened to her then. I don't know what it was, but she began to get very enthusiastic. Next, she began to get the whole family involved. I mean, not just me and my mother and sister, but her 2 sons, their wives, and 6 children, as well as her brothers, sisters, and relatives. Before, she used to carry a Bible with her and quote Jesus Christ. Now she has a Bhagavad Gita and quotes the good Lord Prabhupada. She became a veritable transcendental terror. Everyone in the family has to chant at least 1 round a day. In addition, Granny made everyone become a vegetarian, including my dog, Sikra. And we offer our food to a picture of Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. Now I'm also getting out of Mayan, chanting and reading a little also. Where I go to school, my friends inquire about Krishna since they know I am a devotee. The whole family goes to the Namahata, all 16 of us. During the Christmas marathon for book distribution, we all tried to distribute Prabhupada's books. Even Granny would take books with her to the nearest market and sell them to the vendors. Everyone is afraid of her because she is fearless. They all think she has gone crazy, but she doesn't care. Now she is saving to go to Budapest to see the newly installed deities. She has heard that Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda came to Hungary and are being worshipped there by the devotees. She says she wants to see God just once in her life. At this year's Hare Krishna festival, you were speaking to the guests after the kirtan. You must remember my grandmother because she came and sat right beside you and asked so many questions. At the end, when you stood to leave, she even kissed your hand. Remember? I also wanted to ask you a question, but I was shy. Could I please ask you now? I hope you do not mind, Maharaj. I want to know what kind of man Srila Prabhupada was. He must be so dear to Krishna to have spread this message all over the world. What are these books that changed my family so much? How is it possible that he can speak so powerfully through them? You must feel very fortunate to be his disciple. How great a man he is. Sometimes when my granny chants in front of a picture of Krishna, she cries. How does Prabhupada do that? I want to cry like that too. Granny dreams of Prabhupada, and sometimes she talks to the picture, although it says on the cover of the book that Prabhupada has passed away. Is Prabhupada really dead? Or is he still alive? Do you think I can meet him someday? I'm sorry that I've gone on so. I would like to be a good devotee one day and help you and Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness. Please, could you answer my questions? And what's even more amazing is his answer. I don't know, do I have time to read it? Yes. Okay. This is okay. Dear Siva Ramaswamy, your servant Bhaktindora, Siva Ramaswamy, Srila Prabhupada, what is this brand of mercy that you gave this old lady that I just barely met, which you never gave me? She never met you, never saw a devotee. She's not even initiated by you. What is this kindness that you bestow upon her, which you did not give me, your fortunate disciple? What am I referring to? It is just this. After having come in contact with you for just a few months, what inspiration did you give this granny in that dream, and what did you move in her heart that made her change her life in its final days, that made her turn against the current of banality and tradition and strike out alone to change her world? No sympathy, no association, no institutional support. Boldness I do not possess. Changes I do not have strength to make. Srila Prabhupada, I want to know what you say to her from your picture when she talks to you. I have so many pictures. Do not speak to me through them. Although I worship deities daily, I continue to see them as made of marble and wood. How is it that this old lady has a conviction that God has come to her country? Why have you not given such vision to me? I want to cry like that too. When will you give me that mercy? Srila Prabhupada, this is one letter from one girl who came in contact with you. How many millions of such souls are there who have yet to write, who are directly experiencing your mercy daily? Who are directly experiencing your mercy daily, who read your books with implicit faith, whom you talk to in dreams and pictures, whose lives you change abruptly and reward with tears when chanting the holy names. How many people cross the boundaries of rules and regulations by the strong boat of your mercy and practice and taste Krishna consciousness in a realm beyond logic and good fortune? When will you one day bestow some of this special mercy upon me that you give them? If I am not to acquire it directly, even after begging for it, then I serve such souls who have reached your mission. I will offer them prasadam, give them your books, and show them how to practice. I will chant with them. Thus I can hope to gain a new perspective of your greatness, even though I may never fully understand it. Now understand, this is Siva Ramaswamy. This is how he's feeling. So we don't know who is out there at that brink, just needing that little push to just have that book, to just hear that name, to remember who they are. That is our position here. That is our goal here. That is our desire. And we humbly request you, please, 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 if you are already chanting 16 rounds and if you're already doing everything, do something more. Give one book to somebody. Make somebody else's life open up to Krishna. Read a chapter. Anything that you can do. Make a promise. I remember Dharmasetu Prabhu had said many, many, many years ago, just chant one round every day. That's all I request of you. So I'm requesting everybody, if you chant a round, chant two. If you're chanting and you're okay with your chanting, pick up a book. Back to Godhead magazine, I highly recommend it to everybody because it's a magazine. It comes every couple of months. It has different articles. It has a little bit of Prabhupada's books. It has personal realizations. It has so much information. Back to Godhead magazine. ISKCONDesiretree.com. Everything at your fingertips. This woman only got a book. One book, little book, Science of Self-Realization. Srila Prabhupada only met his spiritual master a couple of times. Look what he has done. Took his message to the West and opened it for us. And it is our responsibility and our fortune that we can also bestow that upon everybody else who we meet. So, thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, please. It better be an easy one, Maharaj.
First off, your father would be very proud.
Thank you very much. All the mercy of Guru Maharaj.
No, I just wanted to tell just quickly, you said about how our acharyas, our teachers, don't want us to blindly accept.
Right.
I was living in Los Angeles, probably going on a morning walk every day. One day they took him, Prabhupada's walking in Beverly Hills, because there's nice lawns and trees, and it was a peaceful place. So Prabhupada's walking, and they go past a big, big house, big mansion, off the driveway. All the devotees that look like this. Prabhupada said, someday we'll have a big house like that for Krishna. What's the Jaipur? Prabhupada walked a little further, big Mercedes parked in the driveway behind the gate. Prabhupada said, someday we'll have a big car like that for Krishna. What's the Jaipur? Prabhupada walked a little further, gated, big mansion, long driveway. This giant dog came running. Hits the gate. Prabhupada said, someday we'll have a big dog like this for Krishna. So what did he say? Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, what do we want a big dog for? Yours, we just blindly follow. No, think about what I'm saying. What it means. Wake up.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhu.
You quoted the verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it describes how someone desiring spiritual life, they want to know about God, then God understands that, Krishna understands that, and sends them a person to help them understand God. And I was asked a question just yesterday at the Balboa Park. And it's a good question. I think you know the answer.
Okay, let's hope so.
So his question was, well, what about people who are like the American Indians, that there wasn't really any spiritual masters here, or in some other land where there's no churches? What about those people?
What about those people? How do we reach them? How do we reach them? Is that
Cut off.
Well, but for example, look at Indra Swami. Where is he going? It is our opportunity to go to those places. When Srila Prabhupada first started the movement, there was nothing in China. There was nothing behind the Iron Curtain. How do we get there? So it is our responsibility as devotees to go there. We may not be the pure devotee, but we have the weapon, Srila Prabhupada's books. So, so for somebody like that, we would go. It is our responsibility as devotees to go there and distribute those books, just like our previous, previous devotees, older devotees, senior devotees, went behind the Iron Curtain, went to China. Even now, I think in some Muslim countries, there are programs that are happening that are in some places. I think it's very, very strict. You're not allowed to do anything like that. So it's just a normal home. Maharaj, thank you.
Attended by 3,000 people in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So,
How do we do it?
how do we do?
We rent a big ice skating rink. We tell them we're having a birthday party. People rent it for weddings. Everyone goes in Western dress, says inshallah to the guard, goes inside. Inside, put on tilak, dhoti, sari, bring all the prasadam, assemble the cart. They take Lord Jagannath around the rink about 50 times, have a nice talk, disassemble everything, put on Western dress, inshallah to the guard, and off they go.
Okay. So does that answer your question, Prabhu?
A little bit.
Are you saying why, like, how the American Indians, how they developed their story, and why ours is the ultimate truth, like, why they differ?
Well, the question
Oh,
is,
Radha, did you want to add something?
I did.
Okay.
You should read the power of it. It's really good.
Okay. Radha, please go ahead.
Krishna says in the Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya, sadhurvahati bharata, vihanama dharmasya, sakanakshadane. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religion and a corresponding rise of their religion, I descend myself. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna comes everywhere. And to each place he gives as much as the people are ready for. Every culture has some kind of faith, some kind of ritual and way of connecting with God. What Srila Prabhupada offers us is a very intense connection, the most intimate possible relationship with God. But that doesn't mean that cultures who don't have access, especially in the past when the world was alive, more cut off, it doesn't mean those cultures didn't have access to God. But this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and ultimately of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that in the past it was more difficult to come in touch with the teachings that would give you that super intimate connection with God. Lord Chaitanya said, and Lord Nityananda said, forget the qualifications, we don't care where you're born, we don't care what your background is, everybody's welcome.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Radha. Any other questions? Yeah. Yes. Chitra. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you speak a little louder?
There's a bloom, an extra bloom in this Krishna consciousness as we become more serious. Krishna promises that whatever calamity that you were mentioning, calamities come and go, but they're minimized from His mercy.
Thank you very much. There's a question over here. Yes.
You had mentioned something about Jesus saying that Krishna was God.
No, I didn't say Krishna was. It was the little girl that was saying that her grandma had said. It was from the letter. It was from the letter that.
Oh, was it from the letter?
It was from the.
You said it before you read the letter. I thought you said something about Jesus Christ had mentioned somewhere that he.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't recall mentioning anything about Jesus Christ until the letter. I don't know. Does anybody? No. So it was just in the letter that she had said. Yes, Prabhu.
My question is about chanting 16 rounds.
Yes.
I heard that it used to be 64 and then it went to 32 and then now it's 16.
Yes. There's no go. That I think I think they asked I think Srila Prabhupada has also asked that question. But they. Oh, Maharaj, please.
If you can chant, Haridas Thakur was chanting 19 hours a day. You can do that, good. If you can chant 64 nice rounds, clearly do that, very good. No restriction, chant as many as you like. But given our time, place, and circumstance, Prabhupada said you chant at least, when you see initiation, Prabhupada said at least, minimum, you chant 16 nice rounds, clearly hearing with a peaceful mind. Don't worry, it's sufficient.
Okay. Is that it? Yes. Yes.
I'm here with we're here on our beach vacation.
Right.
My husband over there, my son just finally got tired,
Oh.
and so he has to take a little nap. But we're so glad that our father told us back from Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
We went to the Harekrishna temple in Philadelphia. We lived there for many years, and now we're living in Vegas. And he told us to come here. We were 3 blocks away from here. This was really meant, like you said in your preaching and your letters, that if you're meant to go and anywhere, and like your father, when he went to the University.
Yeah,
You heard that?
yeah.
Same thing. We went to the Black Mountain shopping center for the Indian,
Uh-huh.
street temple. Well, I heard the music and arti was going on, and then my husband also right there. He said that, oh, I think there's a temple here.
Uh-huh.
The shopping center. We're used to. We're from East Coast.
Right,
So
right,
there's
right.
all these huge temples and a lot of spaces. So we went over rushing, and my son was like, yes, stop the arti. We're coming. So it was really nice to have this temple nearby. And
Thank
we're
you.
blessed.
We are very glad to have you. Very nice. It is it 7 o'clock? If there are no more questions, as I said, no more waiting in the ocean of, yes, Mahar. Yes. I'm sorry, can you speak a little bit louder? I can't hear you. Yes, the dhams.
There are special dhams. All these dhams are very, very glorious and very nice.
Yes.
But can we be content? Can we think that Krishna is everywhere? Krishna is here, Krishna is in the temple. So can you think that this is also a dham?
Krishna is everywhere, but if you can see Krishna everywhere, then it's a dham. Are we at that point where we can see Krishna everywhere? For Srila Prabhupada, I think Srila Prabhupada asked, don't you miss Vrindavan? He said, I never left Vrindavan. Krishna's with me all the time. He's a pure devotee. We're not at that stage. We're not at that stage where we see Krishna everywhere and see, we're always in, Vaikuntha or something. We're not at that position yet. Hopefully someday, right? Okay, thank you very much. And Haribo. Oh.